In anticipation of the release of piece of Bedtime in May of 2018, I've been doing a little reflecting on the origins and motivation for the book, and to a large extent the origins of the story started here in my parents' back garden in Dublin, Ireland. Of course, one can get too carried away with origin stories, but it really is here that I fell in love with Irish nature for the first time. We have a small but pretty sprawling, unkempt garden where over the years I'd kept rabbits. We had a tortoise that wandered around here somewhere, apple tree, pear tree. My big hobby as a kid was collecting wasps that came to the flowers of the apple tree. But also, in a large part, the book has its origin in the house when we returned from the garden or from the neighborhood as kids, and we each one of the six children in the family got their bedtime story. In reality, though, of course, I didn't start really contemplating this project until our own kids. Fossey and I have two boys now, 26 and 22, had graduated from school. One graduated from college and were moving out of home. The experience of being empty nesters was quite a bracing one for both of us. It's a odd feeling, by the way, when you lock the doors at night, where formerly you were securing your kids in their bed, now you're locking them out. Anyway, after the kids had left, we were removing their library from their bedrooms down to the basement. Rather, I should say, my wife was moving them and I was slowly rereading them all. And I kind of recognizing that a lot of the books that they had read when they were growing up were also the ones that I had read. The Hobbit, Winnie the Pooh, Wind in the Willows, Little House on the Prairie, and so on. And what struck me on this kind of fresh rereading, after our kids had left, was how much environmental information was embedded into those stories. As one of the things that the book does is show that that's kind of not a coincidental thing. A lot of the great writers of children's stories, both the stories of kind of classical times, the classic children's stories, as well as the more modern contemporary stories like Harry Potter and the Hunger Games and so forth, have explicit information about the environment or an orientation towards nature that reflects the sensibilities of their authors. Tolkien, of course, was not just a creator of the Middle-earth legendarium, but he was, I think it's fair to say, one of the great first English naturalists. He had a lifelong devotion to trees. Beatrix Potter, of course, was known as a fungal biologist, presented a paper at the Linnaean Society, as well as being a creator of stories. So the book is an attempt to help parents and teachers and the general reader to excavate some of these environmental themes in the in the stories from childhood.